Jakob Soderqvist, the handsomest man from Sweden. Look who we got
Oh,
on the podcast. Wow, Mr. GQ, how are you?
fuck. I'm good after this intro. You just boosted my ego by double, I think. But
Man, look at you. I hope everybody's on the YouTube version so they can bless their eyes.
wow, I'm flattered.
Yeah,
Apart from
so
this, life is under control, I can only say.
life is under control. I love that. This is my buddy Jakob Soderqvist. We were teammates 2 years on the Little Trek development team. We're the founding fathers of that glorious team. Um, he's a fantastic bike rider, but also a fantastic guy. Super cool dude. Recently won the Tour of Hungary, right? How was that?
I have to say, unexpected in a way, because it's like one of these races that we picked out on the calendar just to give myself a bit of freedom, just to not only join our biggest leaders on every race and just to for me to just try the wings a bit and go in some breakaways or just maybe try a sprint or like just practice like also all like my skill set in general, to keep this fire alive. And then ending up like this, just completely turning things around the last two stages, was
Yeah.
not really like a scenario we talked about, but yeah, we made it happen.
It's got to be good for the confidence now. First year pro, first big pro GC win. I mean, dude, you can't really start your pro career much better than that.
No, I don't know if I've been letting it like sink in like that, or it was just really unexpected, and then I just enjoyed being in the moment about it. And of course, it can also give a bit of like confirmation or calmness about the whole situation. Like, okay, now we're off to a good start, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you've been getting breakaway practice already in the race before at Romandy. You were sending me images of you in the breakaway saying, "Oh, look, I'm pulling a Cole Kessler."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe you shouldn't sell yourself that short there.
No,
You're doing a
I
little bit
just
better.
felt like, yeah, going ahead in like Romandy, also just shooting for the break, like really deciding that today is the day and I'm only gonna end up in the break. I felt like Cole Kessler. I see that energy from everybody.
Yeah. Nice. Do you kinda see yourself, like, maybe turning into, a breakaway rider? Like, that could be your way of getting things done, or that's just one of the ways Jakob Soderquist can get shit done?
Like as I said earlier, like with the ambition going into Hungary, I wanna like have quite a broad skill set still. I think breakaways is more a thing that if I manage to end up in a break, then I'm pretty sure about what I'm doing. I can compare it to like a TT way of thinking also, and also managing my effort, like collaborating with the others, like really talking it through to get a good strategy together to try and flick the bunch. And yeah, it's one thing that I think I can do on a pretty good level already. But then for the future, I think the goal is, of course, to keep working on the other parts and the other things that could even be weaknesses in the moment, to broaden a bit my rider. And I think also because I didn't have too long time in the sport of road racing, I also wanna try a bit more to dip my feet in the water in many different places when I didn't have the junior years to play around, for example.
Yeah, because you started mountain biking you did junior mountain biking, not junior road, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you were doing World Cups and stuff, or
Yeah, on junior level, I did like a few junior World Series, or what they are
yeah,
called, and had like big ambitions. But it was also for us too. It was the COVID years,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it wasn't too much racing in this time, and more just training with a lot of ambition, probably more than ever.
yeah,
And,
yeah, no, I was the same way.
yeah, for sure. I was fully locked in to become a mountain bike professional.
Yeah.
and then this continued into the U23 category and only turned around like halfway through the second year in U23 for me.
Yep. 'Cause who were some of your, like, idols? Who did you wanna be like as a junior? Like, when you were there many Swedish pros that you could look up to, or the Swedish cycling scene wasn't super big, no?
No, it's never been so big, but of course, like on a national level, you see these guys that are older than you and better than you when you are younger, and
Thomas Lovquist.
yeah, this guy. But I think I was even a bit too young and also not focused on road at that point, so it was not really on my radar at the time. Um, that's one guy that recently like came from high level on road in Sweden and has a one of the better palmareses of the recent riders. But you always see like these people around you that are just a bit better than you and so on in like on a national level when you're racing here a lot. And then it grew out to me like following all the World Cups like and I always had like I liked these riders like Mathieu and Tom Pidcock that was doing a lot of disciplines because I also had like a future thought that yeah maybe I opened up the door to road or like you just get the opportunity or you just try it out a few times every year and so on, and I can also be a multi-discipline rider, but yeah, that really just turned into me going full over to the other one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kinda kicked off your U23 road career pretty quickly with winning the GC of Flanders Tomorrow Tour, right? I think we raced against each other
Yeah.
there, and that was the first time I heard of your name because I was suffering like a dog in this race, and you were just beasting. You were just a beast. And
I
what was that,
remember that
23?
race
23 that
clearly.
was?
Yeah, yeah, it was 2023, yeah.
Yeah,
And it was like the first real year on road for me. I think I did the majority of the races on road that year,
yeah,
and yeah, for the first time. And this race I remember in particular because it was my first race in Belgium, and
yeah.
I think coming from mountain bike and also having this U23 style of racing, it was just a lot of feeling and also bike handling and just being like explosive and comfortable in chaotic moments and so on. For me, it fitted quite naturally to have these 90-degree bends and different road surfaces and so on. I felt comfortable handling the bike, but then I just also managed to be like on the right places early on in the race, and it was also like not really even an ambition to do the GC, but it turned into it when I managed to stay up there, and then with the TT coming up, I knew that I could probably prove myself even better. And yeah, in the end, I remember, especially on the last day, it was a big team effort from us because it's just like I remember it as just like 3 seconds to one metic and then 7 seconds to the other or so on. So all these bonuses.
Probably 7 seconds to, like, Nicholas Behrens or something.
Yeah, something like this, and like some really strong guys behind everybody, just going full gas on all these bonuses and trying to do like breakaways, and we have to control everything, and like still, we didn't have so much experience in the national team, but it was a true work of art and something I really remember for that.
Yeah. No, that was incredible. That was the first time you, like, got on the map, so to speak. But did you know in that TT that you were gonna go well? Because obviously you didn't have much TT experience. Like, did you
Uh,
know you were already a good time trialist, or how did that confidence come
Uh,
about?
like, I had already that season. I had already like a few appearances because I did before already. I did the nationals in elite, and then through that race because I was second that race, really close to win it. Then I got an invite to do the U23 Worlds, so then after that, I did the U23 Worlds, and then I saw that I really were on a good level to compete with some of the best. I think I ended up seventh on the Worlds there, and then I had quite a clear idea before. yeah, before Flandern tomorrow tour, that's probably this will be my strongest stage in the race, I could
Yeah,
imagine.
nice. And then the next year, you're on the little truck development team, right? 2024. Was that year you went to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
I
that was
mean,
also like it's so many things like since I turned over to the road that just happened without any expectation about it before. And this was also one of these things that was like mentioned for the first time in like February that year that actually we don't really have another athlete, and if you like perform on or keep this trend or whatever, then it might open up that they see you as like a future player that they would like to invest in as like the Olympic comedy. And yeah, then that just turned out to me going to the Olympics just to experience that race, and that was really crazy at that point.
yeah, I
Did you
mean,
do
dude,
both the road and the TT?
Unfortunately not. 'Cause for result, it was really the TT that I would like to make. But I could only do the road race, and I'm not completely sure why, but we didn't have a spot like for our nation for the TT, and it was due to something like that. Maybe we didn't have a participant for the TT in the Worlds the previous year just, and that took out this spot. But it was some complication like this that the nation didn't have one.
wow. That I can imagine that's a little disappointing. You would have rather have probably done Olympic TT over Olympic road race.
Yeah, then I maybe would have some result to speak about, but now I can't really say that. But
Dude,
it was a big day, and I just tried to melt in.
still, it's unbelievable because I was there watching. I got I'm good friends with Brandon McNulty and
Yeah,
Summer, and I was
yeah.
there watching the race, and I just remember you being there, and I couldn't believe it that my teammate, a kid my age, was at the fucking Olympics. I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. That's so cool. I can imagine that's probably like on one of your highlights of your career so far, going to the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah, like it's something completely special because being part of like the Olympic comedy or federation of your country, and like seeing all these other athletes that like for example, cycling is not so big in Sweden. We don't have a lot recognition at all, and like the tour is not sent on like the national broadcast or whatever, and compared to many other countries in Europe. So then we have like different sporting stars in completely different sports that are really huge names that you've always read about, and now like all of a sudden you are like in the same venues, like trying to perform your best, and you are a part of the same team like that. And I wasn't really around a lot of these big athletes that was like by media standard also big in Sweden. So I think that was one of the bigger like impressions for myself, apart from just like seeing everything and taking everything in, how big it was. And of course like the just deafening sound of the crowd around that course. And in Paris it was completely insane how like you had a small ring in your ear after every lap up this climb in the around the Moulin Rouge. And I was completely something else that I never thought you could experience in cycling.
Emotional, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like, brings out the best in you. Did you go to opening ceremony?
Unfortunately not. Like neither like the opening or the closing fitted really well with the race for us. And also I think it was like a special one where they were in like along the canal through Paris. I lost the name for it, but they had like they told about it, and it was really like a long session that you had to be there for 7 hours or so to attend it and wait for these boats and so on, and then it was quite an extra hassle that
Yeah. Some
yeah
things never change.
yeah
It's the
yeah
same for you,
I
Levi.
guess.
Yeah,
And where
exactly the
you
same.
were in Greece, yeah?
Athens and Beijing, same thing. The road race was the day after the opening ceremony, so it was like you had to go there and stand for like 4 hours. It wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Dang.
No, exactly. Then it, like it's a big thing for sure to be part of it, and it's kind of in a bucket list also. I can see, but then yeah, it has to make sense in some way when you are still trying to prepare for this, like one of the biggest things you are doing as an athlete also.
I don't know if I'm maybe too romantic about the Olympics or whatever, but dude, if I'm at the Olympics, no matter what, I don't care if my race is the next day or like that night, I'm going to opening ceremony.
I could
Dude,
imagine.
especially, okay, imagine an LA opening ceremony, like in the Coliseum, the torches getting lit. Oh, I'm gonna cry for sure if I was there. That would be insane. Yeah, I would cry. So, speaking of which, do you kind of have like a little bookmark in the future of LA Olympics? That's something you want to try and focus on the TT?
For sure. It's something that we kind of already started working on a bit to like set up a project, and then we are talking about the TT. That I saw that my level can compare to some of the better guys out there on some occasions in the time trial, and we really. I also have quite a bit more confidence from the Olympic Federation, and of course we will receive a starting place if I just do a decent job before. Then we really try to make a bit of a project about it together with Little Trek also, like our team, to collaborate a bit how the Olympic Federation can step in with some resources or stuff, and we build something around it to really make it a goal, because I think for a like as I said, when cycling is really not so publicly known in Sweden, then it's really something you do like as an athlete in Sweden. You to have a project around the Olympics, and that I also have my strength in the time trial, where like a really good performance can lead to a medal even. Then it's really something that I feel that it matters also to
Did you
myself.
know that Sweden already has a time trial Olympic medal?
Yes, with Gustav Larsson, the
Yeah,
silver in Beijing, was it?
yeah,
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. This I know, and yeah, for sure. It's I would like to be someone that tries to repeat this, or
yeah.
even edge it out further on.
Dude, how exciting for you, man. That's awesome. I'm stoked for you. It's so cool. And then, dude, you win under 23 world championships last year. You fucking spanked me real hard. That was super impressive, especially not on a course that really suits you at all. You know, I would say just from knowing you and knowing how big of an engine you are, I would assume you would prefer a flat TT, right? Maybe a
Yeah,
little bit
but
technical, but
that is interesting actually, because I thought myself also after the race in Rwanda, because the times are changing a little bit, and the rules of time trials are like getting a bit adjusted. So I can actually feel that sometimes I'm less confident before a fully flat TT than one that is a little bit more elevated. Like this was really a hard one, but still, like I could just be more like polarized in my pacing, because of course I need to do like a massive effort in the climbs to keep up with the best there. Especially if I want to win the race, but then in the down is just manage my effort as much as possible, and maximizing recovery in between is something that I play quite well with also, and it really made me think that maybe this is not too far from a good time trial for me, and I think that showed also in my performance on the day that for sure it was not a weak spot. At least I would never
Yeah,
call it that.
definitely not a weak spot. I mean, you crushed everybody. So, yeah, I mean,
How
see,
much
there,
did you win by?
It was like 1 minute and 1 second.
Oh, whoa.
But
yeah.
it was super funny. I actually told like a close friend of mine when we discussed it a little bit, and I had this like feeling that I thought that maybe I am optimistic, but I'm not afraid to of failure or anything. I just set up this challenge that maybe that it's possible to win by 1 minute. But then we
You
just went
bastard.
for it, and then it was super funny, like hearing from him again because I'd said it to him before.
I love the confidence. That's
Yeah,
good.
with some people close to me, I like to be play along these lines a bit more and not always be the humble guy.
That's awesome. I love that. That's super cool. Dude, some Swedish junior just won the Ronde van
Yeah,
Vlaanderen
yeah.
from Sweden. Do you feel like you now kind of have this, maybe not weight on your shoulders, but you've kind of taken on this role of being somebody that definitely the younger kids look up to and want to try and be like?
Um, for sure in some ways because like on if you all look at like all measures, it's yeah basically two male cyclists that are professional at the moment. It's me and then Jakob Eriksson in Tudor, and yeah, we are really not a lot of us. So in a way, we are ambassadors for the sport on that level for our country, and then you can really feel that we like with the steps that I've taken, coming from like also coming completely in from the left from mountain bike and found a way to make the most out of it on road. It's really something that you can see and imagine that it has an effect also, and you also something I really like enjoy to hear. But when I'm talking a bit with like the federation or the federation managers and so that they see a pattern where more and more like younger guys in junior especially are coming from mountain biking, giving road a chance like more properly than they saw before, and that it's building also like a stronger, like broader team for the national selections and so on. That it's few times that they had like enough athletes even to that was on the level to compete internationally, but now they have too many, so they can't take them all, and it's going like towards that way, and to feel that you've maybe had something to play for it or to inspire part of it, it's really something that matters a lot to
I
me,
think
of
it's
course.
awesome. That's so cool for you. And definitely don't sell yourself short. I think for sure over the last couple of years, you have 100% inspired so many people in your country to like get on the road if they were juniors racing mountain bikes, maybe to kind of do some road stuff for sure. I mean, it's incredible, bro, what you're doing. I'm proud of you. Because
I want
when
to
we
hear. I
first
want
met,
to
you
hear
could
more
barely see.
about. I want to hear more about Tour of Hungary. Like, walk us through how it played out. How did you win? Like, what were each stage? And you talked about like exploring different skill sets. Like what was it that allowed you to take the victory?
Basically were like coming with a completely open strategy, I would say, before Hungary, and just trying to find like the best collaborative effort to give opportunities to everybody in a way, and to really race, but still maintaining the team spirit, so we don't start going against each other at any point. Of course, this is the last thing you want to achieve. But then, like the first 3 stages for us were we were in the break all of these days and were really like attentive. And then some days, the first day, I think went for like long range attack and tried this, didn't really work. Bad timing or bad judgment, I don't know. But and then we were just playing along these lines to find like a creative way of trying, giving things a shot. And then what it really came to later on was like the stage 4, the king stage of the race. And as it was pouring down in the morning and everybody was choosing like what and how many rain jackets they would wear, then I really started to see some opportunity in this stage, because I know that okay, it's a tough stage and it's a motherfucker of a climb, but I know that in the rain you can defy the laws of physics a little bit if you're a big Swedish guy. So then I really just it's funny, like what put me like in this go mode was just seeing these rain jackets everywhere, then just putting Vaseline everywhere where the wind would blow in the stage, and then putting on the speed suit and going to the start.
Wow.
So then I was really just set and determined that I will go in the break today. I give myself no other opportunity with this clothing. And then I'm just gonna hammer it no matter what. If I don't get into the break, I'm gonna open it again, and then I'm gonna get in the break. And it was really, I was really like forcing this to come in a way from
Yeah,
the
the
start.
sledgehammer approach.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's only in this type of weather where it can actually work to go just sledgehammer mode. Otherwise, the others use you, or you drain yourself, or it catches up with you. But in this kind of weather, for my rider profile, like I think it's the one occurrence where it could work, and I could just do this whole stage without any doubt that we will go all the way. Then it was a situation in the end where they I don't know still like completely what the reason were, but basically when we were in the break, it was 3 of us left, and we were about to enter the last lap on this course. We had a gap of, I don't remember if it was like 1:35 or so on when we were about to do the last lap. And I felt quite good confidence in this gap because I knew I'm not going to slow down here. And they've really been chasing us for a long time now. But then I think with only like 4 kilometers left or so, then I get like the confirmation that no, finish will be this time. So then we had this steep climb. So halfway up the climb on the lap, after the steep parts, the finish would be. And then I didn't really know what to do or what to think. Like, of course, it's to an advantage for us surviving in the end and making it. And but then it was also like, okay, I don't know about these guys, how they are feeling. Maybe if they smell the finish, they also turn superhuman or something. But then in the end, they were not taking pulse anymore. So I knew that I probably have to make sure that we stay away here and take control, because they were really doing lead outs in the back to just it looked like they were going into a sprint, but it was a 6-minute climb to the finish. And then we still had to minimize the damage of that, but I could do it, and I could really find something extra to go all the way. And then in the end, I think I kept quite a good resistance on this climb, where I don't think I lost more than 10 seconds to the guys in the bunch on this quite steep climb. So this is something that I felt like I would have still liked to see what happened if it was a lap more, because it's this one small thing that you think like you don't want to have any excuses to
Gifts.
be thrown around or gifts in that way. You want it to be honest as a sportsman, but then in the end, I'm super proud of how I approached the whole race and the situation I put myself in. And it's so many good things to take away from it. But for sure, for the GC at least, it was no doubt we had an advantage of this.
I mean, dude, you gotta at least try. And also in cycling, there's no gifts ever, but you always need a little bit of luck.
Mm.
And the stars just align for you that day. Like you always, when you go in the breakaway, you never know what it's gonna turn out to be. But you putting yourself in that situation up the road, you gave yourself the opportunity to maybe pull something out of the bag. And with the inclement weather and whatever, yeah, for sure, that helped you, you know? But I think you only losing 10 seconds on that climb and how those guys in the back were riding that descent, you know, there was there was a bad crash on that descent, right? Like, and for sure you were probably taking that faster. So I imagine you could stretch the gap a little bit if you really pushed.
Yeah, of course, like running the race in my head a bit, like what would have happened if it was like one lap more. Then you think about that, like, okay, how much time would I lose if they like went quicker the second last climb then, and then I think that I can go still quicker than them in the descent, or if they go even quicker, then it will be more chaos for them also going next
Yeah.
to each other racing. So it will always be safer and cleaner for myself, and then yeah, just keeping the speed in the flat is what I do good normally. So I just tuck in and try it, and then to just make sure that I'm fueled enough to do this last big effort anyways to the finish was what I calculated for as well. So yeah, it's something that was like, yeah, I see it as a bit of a gift in this way, but yeah, sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not, and then what would have happened otherwise is like nothing even worth discussing really in this way, because this was just how it unfolded this time.
How much were you eating on the bike that day to win in Hungary?
I was really eating a lot because our sports director, Mickey Scher, he saw like the look in my eyes, even through my glasses, and knew that I'm just going for it today. So he was a bit afraid that don't do any silly mistakes like not eating or so on. So he was just constantly on the radio. You have to eat. You have to eat. Like you look fire, but that also burns a lot of energy. You have to continue to eat. So I was pulling gels every 10 minutes, I think, just to make sure before this lap. And I was sort of like almost like doing small hiccups with carbs towards the end, or
Yeah,
like when we were approaching the lap
yeah,
there. But I think I had enough, and I didn't count afterwards, but I would guess like 140, 150 an hour maybe.
badass. And you wore no arm warmers, no leg warmers, just
I
speed suit,
I had these like we have these like TT
arrow,
R
the arrow.
warmers, like the air ones that are not really like, they are almost cooling you down more than they are heating you. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a skill set, like such an asset to be able to dress like that in that weather. Like I could never do that. I ran cold. I had to put on so many clothes, and then when you have too many clothes on, you cannot go fast. You feel
yeah,
shitty. You can't breathe. So
yeah.
like you've got a like a you've got a golden ticket there that you should use more often.
And it's
Yeah,
such a mind game too. Imagine you're in a breakaway with this big motherfucker and he's
Yeah.
just got a speed suit on and it's freezing and raining out and he's just kicking your ass. I'd be like, bro, I'm done. I'm going back to the bunch. Get another jacket and I'm sitting up.
yeah, I
It's
think like
amazing.
still I try to make my best like there with a Vaseline, thinking about it like, okay, how do I make sure not to get too cold? And then it was like just not having like a wet textile just pressing against your skin, but having just this small fatty layer in between so the cold doesn't transfer in the same way and so on. So like I manage it a bit better like that. And then of course, like, normally my problem with climbing is overheating, because if I'm always, it doesn't matter like what time in the season, I'm always going to be over 80 kilos, and just pushing the power that is required to go the same speed as climbers or so on. I can do it for a while, but then what it often comes to is just overheating, because you are like producing so much energy, and then I normally have a bit more isolation than these thinner guys. So then it's just trapping, and then I'm fading towards the end in these longer climbs. So if we do many repetitions, so doing this loop in the rain just opens up that I'm not fading like that. It's more just raw like energy, like carbs and these systems, and the heating is not a factor anymore. So then I'm just going full, while some other like smaller guys would just, yeah,
Okay.
a bit like
Yeah,
you
I
said,
can't I
stiffen up.
can't even relate, dude. I can think of like 3 days in my career where I had on like an undershirt, a jersey, a vest, and then 3 rain jackets all at once. Yeah. So I can't even relate
Wow.
to what you're saying.
Yeah, but this is also like, it's also the boost like mentally, as you talk,
Yeah.
as you said, that when I know that, okay, it doesn't really suit anybody better than me that it's this shit weather. Of course, it's like, it's not something you do out of pleasure to ride in the rain. Also not me. But if you know that today I have my opportunity, then you just lock in, and you go even more determined into this day than an average day. And when you know also that the others are maybe like half of the field is mentally broken for sure, and then also, even if they're not, maybe they stiffen up a bit so they cannot do their best with these layers on and so on. And then in these steep climbs, then the level field is a bit more like equalized, so to speak, just with the gravity not really having the same effects on myself.
So you took the jersey that day, and then you had like 2 or 3 days to defend it. And I remember seeing a small clip where I think it broke apart in the crosswinds, and you actually crashed at one point.
It was actually just 1 day left at that point. So it
Okay.
was 5 stages in Hungary, and that was the fourth stage that I took the jersey, and then the fifth one is where we needed to defend it. And it's true that it was like in the final of the race, that it was really strong crosswinds. Like, it was covered a lot of the stage earlier, but then this section of 10 kilometers or so, it was completely just fields and open, and then it was winds of 30 kilometers per hour average, and it was really like just swinging the bike, while then it was actually yeah, Luke Plapp that was the aggressor in this segment, and he can push power
Dude, this
in,
was insane. Seeing you suffer on the wheel, I
yeah.
knew you were probably doing over 600 watts just in the gutter.
It was insane how, like, and you also see the fighting that eventually he also comes to somewhat of a limit, and he like breathes for a second, starts looking back, sees that, fuck, these guys on the classification are still here, and then he just goes for it again and just kicks again, and just that determination was, you really got some respect for it. But yeah, at one point it got a bit chaotic with these wins, and like at one point it was basically the wing opened up a bit, so we all like rolled up like a wheel next to each other to get some cover, and then it closed again and went to the gutter. So then eventually at one point in the line, someone is gonna brake, and to not have their handlebar next to someone's hip going to the ditch. And then yeah, it was a rider ahead of me that had to pull the brake to save himself. But then I was just there trying to get my wheel around, but in this, before I like really got it around, then it came back towards me a meter extra. So then I didn't really have the chance to, and came down in at that stage.
Crashed beautifully, I must say. a
Yeah,
very
I actually,
elegant,
I didn't
elegant
have much
crash.
injuries.
Yeah, you
But
just
So,
were you worried when you hit the deck that like, oh no, it's all over, like I'm gonna lose it?
I didn't lose like any. I didn't lose a hope for sure. It was just a big adrenaline kick that I don't know how the situation is behind, because with this type of wind, it could be like just small microscopic groups where everybody pulls each other to the gutter, and you really have to just fully work by yourself to keep it. And then it's you have quite negative feelings about Luke Plapp sailing away at 60 k's an hour when you are sitting on the ground. But then in the end, I just screamed on the radio just to get the emotions out of me. Also to just tell that I need everything you can give me now, like to my teammates. That now we really need to save the day here. And then they came up, and it was actually a bigger group behind, where I don't know if it was like 40 or 40, 50 guys. So then I could join in there, and we could all come to pace this group and to bring it. And then you started looking around, seeing like, okay, Tim Elliott is here, and okay, Molano is here for UAE, and there Krosnefra also comes down to this group. And then you see that, okay, we of course we are gonna do the most work, but if we go on our knees, then we still have backups. So you
Yeah.
started feeling a bit more secure about it.
I mean, first off, that's amazing that you didn't have any initial ideas of doubt in your head when this happened. That's got to be one of your strengths, probably, because I could imagine a lot of other guys, if they crash in a crosswind stage when they have the leader's jersey, they probably are automatically thinking negative things. But seems like you go straight to the positives and how you can try and still win this race, which is pretty amazing.
I think
Um,
it was also thanks to my teammates in this moment, because it was like my calmness came from seeing them that, okay, we are here, we are an alliance, and they were like fighting like I never saw them before. So this gives you also calmness when they show that we will take this and we are willing to do everything for it. Then you know that, okay, as long as I have these guys around me, it will be difficult to lose this.
yeah, shout out Christian Eggholm.
Yeah,
Dude, he's a truck. I love seeing that guy on the front. He's
M-
so incredible.
MVP of that day.
Yeah,
I didn't see anybody do this kind of work for somebody before, like live in a race, because what he did that day, like controlling in the start, checking out the breakaways, catching some dangerous ones, then just going up, pulling solo in these conditions, like for more than 80 kilometers, just from the front alone, stretching the whole field out, and then still surviving like the last climb where it really went off. He was still like one of the first guys over the top, just ready to position before the crosswind, just like no questions asked. And then just coming in there, I could sweep over him to follow Pap in the crosswinds, and then he's the first guy ready behind to just, okay, when do we start the pacing? And just continuing until, I don't know, like 5Ks to go or so. He just kept going all day, and it was unreal seeing this.
yeah. No, I hope one day to have Christian on here and we can talk about his journey because
Sure.
he's also one of my great friends and he's incredible. He's such an underrated rider. He's so good.
Yeah,
I love seeing that guy work.
I agree.
I got one more question. So this is kind of from my wife. She's Hungarian, and I'm
Okay.
curious how. I'm curious how are the spectators, the crowds in Hungary? Like, they have obviously have a recent big change in government. Like, could you sense that Hungary was really happy at the moment, or were they like really supportive of the race?
I was especially surprised about stage 4. Like, we have this steep climb where you know that you want to watch the race, but with this like grim weather that we had on this day, where it was just pouring down all day nonstop, really, and then you wouldn't imagine that. I would say on a Pro Series race, it's not so many locations where you get like this type of crowd. But I have to say, like honestly, there in Hungary, I was like genuinely surprised, and then the last time of the climb, like also emotionally touched, just because of the crowd, and also just how they were pushing, and it was like all the way of this climb, all these 6 minutes, it was constant screaming. So you really felt that you were part of like a much bigger race than what it was, or so on. You really got this feeling thanks to the supporters there,
It's awesome.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I've raced in Hungary a couple times. It's a beautiful country, actually. You know, it's not just like an Eastern Bloc country that
No.
is and so it's got beautiful countryside. There's some pretty lakes, and there's actually some climbs there that are pretty tough. There's a junior Nations Cup and then a U23 Nations Cup that often goes through Hungary, and you get to see some beautiful countryside, and it's super fun racing over there. Jacob, what's something that you're looking forward to in the future? Where you race next? What's new for you, or next for you?
Something that is really recent is that I do Boucle Mayenne this week. So
Oh, okay. All right, straight into it. Nice.
yeah, I got a bit. I got called in just couple. Yeah, it was 3-4 days ago maybe. And it was a situation, so I was reserved for it, so I needed to jump in. So I'm just trying to prepare as good as possible. It's also a prologue there, and of course that every TT is an opportunity. So try to get some time
Wait,
on that bike.
which race is this?
Boucle de la Mayenne.
What I've
Is it
never.
dot pro
Yeah,
or
dot pro.
2.1? Okay,
Oh,
nice.
Where
dot
where
pro.
is it?
No, it's in France, just in the Mayenne region. I looked on the map. I didn't also like, to be honest, my knowledge of all these races are not the best compared to my colleagues, but I also never heard about this race before.
Was
I had
it called something else in the past?
this. I have no idea.
Okay.
I guess it's
Imagine
like,
it probably was.
Yeah. I think has a new name. Like, is it like the old Midi Libre or Languedoc-Roussillon or something?
Yeah, maybe. Prologue, dude, you're the prologue goat. There's not many people that can say that they've beaten Pogačar head to head, and you've beaten freaking Pogačar head to head in a prologue in Romandy. So
catch them all.
I'm gonna put my money on you at this race. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Poly market bet you right now that you're gonna win this
Whoa,
prologue.
whoa,
Anybody
whoa,
listening, put your money on Jakob. So
whoa.
you're gonna win this prologue, dude. That's gonna be great for the confidence. And then, are you maybe gonna do Volta? Are you slated as a Volta guy?
We thought about the like Grand Tours in general a few times, but it's quite difficult this season. It's due to many things, like both the Vuelta with the parkour and locations in Spain. It's gonna be really hot, and it's gonna be more like elevation than in any of the other Grand Tours. So that's voting a bit against it for myself, or like it's also making the challenge of the first Grand Tour a lot bigger if it's gonna be 35 degrees every day. And for myself, that is really a big, a big fatigue. And then it's also with the World Championships. The TT is like on the Monday or something, you know, in the week before the road race, first on Sunday. So I think the Vuelta finishes really closely to the TT, and for myself, this is one of the more focused goals, if not the most, for the season. So with this in mind, it was a bit harsh to go for the Vuelta. We thought, and we might see more opportunities similar to Hungary or so, that we try to stay calm and work on these base things on one stage lower, because in the end I did quite a few bigger races in this spring with Pyrenees and my first Roubaix also, like you. And we both know that racing on that level gives quite some impressions, and also just taking with for the future, it's like, of course, experiencing a Grand Tour is also something really big, but it's not like I'm left empty-handed without one just for this year.
Yeah. That was probably one of my highlights of Roubaix, honestly, was getting to see you in the velodrome and sharing a small moment with you there,
Yeah.
seeing you after you finished, 'cause we've done 2 under 23 Roubaix together, and I got to be a small part of your success last year when I'll just say that you won because you were who gifts a Roubaix? He gifted a Roubaix to our teammate because they came across the line together, and he's like, "No, no, no, you can win this." How class is that? It's so cool. What a good guy. It's such a
Well,
testament to his
it's
character.
important to tell that story for that reason then, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it was cool. I got to help him there, pull through a couple sectors for him. But yeah, and then to see him in the big one this year and see him in the velodrome and just give him a hug, that was super cool for me. Nice to see you there. You gonna
Sure.
do okay, so next, Jakob, I do Denmark, Arctic Racer Norway, and Luxembourg. Are you gonna be there? Any of
Mm.
those 3?
I really hope for Denmark.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if I have it on the schedule already, but I'm for sure when it comes closer, I'm gonna push to do it because it's one race that's always gonna be nice. Also for myself to be quite close to home. It's nice. Maybe even taking like the car down just or
Yeah.
someone.
And that's where you got your first pro win there. You won the
Yeah,
TT there this year.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, not a much better race to come back to, I think. It's a good one.
Uh, no, for sure. And now it's one more reason also.
Yeah. Maybe Steve, what if Steve's there?
Yeah. What if Steve's there? Then it's 3 votes more.
Yeah,
Best
exactly.
supporter I've seen.
Alright, yeah, Gov, thanks for coming on, bro. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you. It
It's
was
been amazing to talk to you and catch up.
yeah, it was nice talk through.
Yeah, cool, dude. Thanks. Where can people find you? Where do you like to update people on? Instagram?
Yeah, I guess I'm not the most active creator on any platform, but Instagram is, I would say, the center of it. So if you want to see something show up every month or so, then that's
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah. Jacob with a K, and then just type in SOD, and I'm sure it'll come up. So,
I think the best way to follow him is turn on your television and watch him throw his hands in the air.
yeah, damn right.
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Jakob, would you ever post up in a TT? I suppose you posted up at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
TT?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big also goal because I knew that I will be starting with the number 1. So I need to. I really dreamed of having a margin enough to celebrate it.
That's super cool.
So for sure.
Super cool. And do you think, is the course in Worlds suitable to you? I guess any TT course is suitable for you, but
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting. It looks a little bit more technical. It's hard to tell just before the recon when you saw like how they closed off and put the barriers and stuff, how tight the corners are and so. But it looks interesting for sure, and it's for like a lot more flat. And as I said, it can also be like bring a little bit of some doubt or something, like if I will have level to compare to like Ghana and Tarling, for example, that are just superhuman on these flat courses and with flat speed, because I think it's mostly with trying to compare to these type of guys that I'm more confident with a bit more elevation on the course. And then we have Remco, that is, it doesn't really matter what course you put out. Most of the time he's still a step ahead from recent performances, but it could suit me also quite well. So we are going all into to try and contend for these top spots for sure.
did you go to the wind tunnel this year again, or is your position kinda set?
We didn't have the opportunity to work too much this year on the position because I was racing really a lot, and I was also mismatching so that they had a time booked since a long time before, and then I had the race just at this point and so on. with the team protocol. So we didn't get the opportunity too much, but now when it opens up a bit more in the summer with my racing schedule, it's yeah, for sure before Worlds, I think we can find something, and then we just have to gather like what we are curious to try. Of course, we found a good setup. It's now I think it's more gathering all the smaller stuff, I would say, to try and bring 10 small gains to another big one.
Yeah. The helmet makes a big difference, huh? Being on Trek, being able to choose your own helmet, that's a super
Yeah.
big advantage.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that's one really nice thing with this team, that we can like actually test all the helmets we can buy on the market, and just see like it is individual in the end, like how you look and your body shape and shoulders and how everything blends together with that helmet. It's really interesting to see, and you also when you try all of them, you see like the differences and so on, and maybe you were on a team that you just have to use this one, and then you know about a bit about what you would be losing out on that department. Yeah, for sure we are happy about that freedom.
and
So
you guys use
which one do you choose? Are you allowed to say?
We went along with the Swedish route, and uses the one from Gustav Larsson, the same model as he's used in the Olympics.
temper?
Exactly. Yeah, it was the one that was working the best for me in the testing.
Yeah. I don't know if they're allowed to say the the company name, because I guess Bontrager.
I was taking precaution now
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm
I'm saving
maybe
you. I'm
not.
saving you. I'm saving you.
Yeah.
I know how it works. I
Maybe
was on
not.
the team. I know.
Yeah.
And then also wheels, I can say it. Scope. I think I saw the guys running scopes. But you guys also get freedom in what wheels you can run, because I remember we had different options of disc wheels and front wheels we could use. I think Trek is kind of at the forefront of that, because other teams are kind of pigeonholed to what their sponsors can provide. But Trek, you have the freedom of equipment, because there's a lot of times with different yaw angles. Maybe a tri-spoke is better. Maybe a really deep front wheel is better, or a different kind of disc is better. And you guys have the option to run all these, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, you see it a bit like, or especially it's with the discs for us that Trek doesn't produce their own disc wheel, so then we have to pick one from the market, and we've had it like that, yeah, since a longer time, and then it's still like we generally lean towards using all our Bontrager wheels for the TT, and so far it's the only thing I used also. But yeah, they are updated on tests and so on, and test many manufacturers also to develop their own new products.
Yeah. Last question. Trek now makes a lace-up shoe, which the big rave in TTs now is a lace-up shoe is like ideal for aerodynamics in a time trial. Do you use the lace-up shoe?
Of course.
All right, we're gonna need
I
to
like
hop on with that.
my laces for a long time actually. I was using it on the mountain bike even before,
Really?
just because I liked the style and feeling about lacing the shoes.
Yeah.
Then when they came with it now for this year, I was the first one to jump on it.
All right. Well, I'm still racing in the Treks from last year, so if you have any extra pairs, send me a few, because I'm pretty sure we're the same shoes. So. That would be nice. That would be nice. All right, brother. Thanks so much for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Nice to
Thank
see you
you.
too, Levi.
Yeah. I'll be more awake next time.
Super.
Yeah.
Super.
We'll
Have
see
a
you
good
tomorrow.
day.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
See you, Jakob.